Blessed morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Peace and love to everyone. This is Sister Nzinga of Flowing and Growing with Sister Nzinga, where our mantra is to think. It ain't illegal yet. We've taken the word think and broken it down to taking hold of and implementing new knowledge. So, our purpose here is to emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. You know where that came from? Our brother Bob Marley. This is a very, very powerful statement because we are in a situation now where we're not thinking, or if we are thinking, we're not taking some information, we're not changing, I guess. So that's why we say taking hold of and implementing new knowledge. Well, I'd say thank you to my new subscribers. Thank you for everyone who has watched my videos, liked them, shared them, and also made comments. But today we're going to talk about taking that step of implementing. Our last month was about us just getting to love ourselves, self-love, looking at things about putting ourselves first and making changes that bring us joy. I'm down here by the river. One of my favorite places to just kind of come and sit and let it just talk to me. You hear the water flowing? It's so peaceful. It's so peaceful. So I'm going to share some of my personal experiences with you, and then we're going to talk about taking this step. We're going to leap, we're going to jump, we're going to just get right into this because it's necessary. Now is our time. Now is our time. And more importantly, like I said, if you don't love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else? So now we're going to be doing things that are not selfish. They're not selfless. They are things that we need to do for ourselves. We need to put ourselves first because we've been brought up in a society that kind of tells us this is the new style. Let me see. This is the new style. This is the new color. This is the new clothing that we wear. This is the new sneaker. No, it may be for some people, but those things may not be suitable for us. So we have to put ourselves first and think about how these things affect us. And then we have to make changes in our lives that will show us that, okay, I can think for myself. I don't have to do what everybody else does. I don't have to change or buy things when I really don't it's not really in my financial environment. I mean, not environment, in my financial outlook or my plans, because sometimes we do stuff just because it's cool and it's popular. So what we're doing is loving up on ourselves and putting ourselves first. Okay? Because we all have grown up in certain situations, certain neighborhoods, certain environments, certain religions and things like that. That once we get to an adult, we think about, well, maybe, this is not really for me. And so we're at a point now that we can make that change and we can put ourselves first and just have our loved ones to respect those changes. And sometimes if they don't respect those changes, that's okay too. But the love for ourselves will make us still make that change and say, okay, we can agree to disagree. Okay, and it's not to say that you're going against the grain. Well, you are going against the grain, and you should go against the grain because we don't have to do what everybody else does. So it's not to disrespect our parents if we were brought up in a certain way of life, certain environment, certain neighborhood, certain religion. It's not to go against that. It's just to say that, now that I'm working on self and I'm going to do what's best for self right now. And so we have to love ourselves enough to be able to have the courage to make those changes. So personally, I just when I grew up, I just always saw things differently. I'm the youngest of 6. And so I watched my elder sisters and brothers, go through their life and make decisions, things like that. So I thank them for teaching me things that they taught me. So I learned what things to do, but I also learned things not to do. And so those particular things were not for me. And so I just made choices about what was good for me, knowing that, okay, well, that don't make me feel good. Or I don't like that. Or this don't look good on me. So I wasn't just going along to get along. But I ended up moving from the East Coast all the way over to the West Coast. I went to a place where no one knew me. So, sometimes when we live our lives to other people's perception of who they think that we are. And then we get into that, we get jammed up in that, and then we continue to live according to the perception of others. But that's not how we're supposed to live. You're supposed to have your own perception, your own creativity, because you can co-create. We do know the Most High is in charge. But we can co-create our life and do things that suits our heart and settles with settles within ourselves, well. So I just moved all the way to another whole other place where nobody knew me, nobody had no expectations or anything, and I just loved up on this little zinger right here, and ended up going all the way deep down to correcting my name. I know my name used to be Kim. I'm telling it all now, but my name used to be Kim. I didn't feel like a Kim. After I started researching and learning and about who I am and my history and some truths, I was like, So I'll tell you the story later about how I became Sister Nzinga, Queen Nzinga. But that is legally my name now. I corrected it. I legally changed my name, corrected my name. I don't like to say change. I corrected my name. Because, our names were taken from us long time ago. We were given these names by other people in their idea of what their name should be. But my soul feels sure enough African. And we know Africa is not really the name of the place where our ancestors came from, but you understand what I'm saying. But I felt like I belonged to them people, and I needed to have a name that identified me to my people. So these are some of the things that we can change, and it's okay. It's legal to do it, and actually it's really simple and it's inexpensive. But anyway, we're going to talk about, just making that change or just taking that jump. But it is a process. So we have to understand that, whatever age you are, it took you a while to get to whoever you are. And then it's going to take a little while for us to make that change, to get back. But understand there's a process. So we're going to set short goals for ourselves in this process. Oh, I just love the river. Yes, I'm just going to let you just see all the beauty that I am. And one thing I do want to tell you that we as African people, we need to be outside. We need to be amongst this greenery, because the things that these plants give, their DNA is very similar to our DNA. And we need to be out there. And the water is just such a blessing also. So sometimes, the sun is kind of cloudy today. The sun hasn't come out yet. But we still got the light from the sun just peeping through the clouds, the beautiful water flowing, and I'm surrounded by all this greenery. So anyways, yes, we have to start making these changes about who we are, to work on being our authentic self unapologetically. Okay? Because we're in a system now that we need to know that the people who's running this society, like I told you before, these are the families of the people who enslaved us. And so they may not be the ones who did it, but the program is still the same. We are in a mental slavery now. We're no longer in chains, and this mental slavery has us all jammed up. And the thing about it, some of us don't realize that we're slaves. So what we've got to do is free ourselves, emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. And this is serious. This is serious. So again, please like my video, share it, and don't forget to think. It ain't illegal yet. So in this process, what we're going to do, I'm going to talk about this phrase. I read through this book, and what the book was telling me about was how to slowly make the change when we're evolving. Because see, once you start to evolve into your authentic self, you really start to see things differently. Because it's a whole system that we're working on. We're not working on just the outer part, which society has us just dressing ourselves up. We're adding all these different things to ourselves: eyelashes, nails, makeup, clothing, sunglasses. All this stuff. We're dressing ourselves up, but deep down inside, who are we inside? So, as I mentioned, that we have to get out. We have to go within. To get out of this situation, we have to go within, because everything that we need is down inside of us. It's in our DNA. It's in us. So it really won't be that hard if you allow it, and you have to believe that these things are good for you. You have to have it in your mind, and you have to be mindful of the things that you say. We cannot say, "Oh, I can't do this," or "I never win," or you cannot come up with that negativity and thinking that those things are not affecting your life, because words are prayers, and anything that we want to strive to, even before you even get it, even before you reach that particular thing or something that you desire, then you just have to talk about it as if that you have it and it's yours, because anything can be yours, because you could do, be, or have anything that your heart desires. Do you believe that? But you must believe it in order to achieve it. Do you really believe that you can do, be, and have anything your heart desires? You have to believe it. And once you put some action toward it, like I was saying in the think, it ain't illegal yet, taking hold of it, implementing. Implementing means to take an action towards that thing. So I'm going to talk to you about this, about a cycle that we could do. So we have this thing called transformation, transition, and excuse me, let me start over. Tradition, transition, and transformation. So it starts with us just doing whatever it is that we usually do. That's your tradition, just usually drink this, get up and have a cup of coffee in the morning, you do this, you read a book, you go to the bathroom, you go to work, blah, blah, blah. That's your tradition. These are things that you've been doing for the majority of your life. But once you see the light and know that there's more out there and there's more that you can attain, that you could just want to be your authentic self and you don't want to go along with other people, then you start to make the transition. And so in the times of that transition, that means that you're taking action, that you are transitioning. So maybe you used to drink Pepsi all the time. And so you're giving up Pepsi. Maybe I should drink Pepsi every day, slowly. So maybe drink Pepsi 3 days a week, and then 2 days a week. And then you get to the point that you're drinking it 1 day a week. And then eventually you will transition into not drinking Pepsi at all. And then you could say, oh, wow, that's the transformation. Because I used to do this, and now I went through a transition of adjusting myself away from that thing or adding myself to a thing, so it works either way. But then once you do that thing and you've done that for a period of time, then you can say, be proud of yourself and say, wow, I transformed that. I no longer eat those type of things. I no longer listen to this kind of music. I no longer hang out with these friends who I know really don't have my back. So you go through a transition and then you make that transformation and you be proud of yourself and you celebrate. And so you continue to do that. Support yourself. Celebrate yourself. You continue to be in that transformation state. And then guess what? The transformation state then turns into your tradition. And so this is what you do now. I no longer drink Pepsi anymore because I transitioned out of that. And I transformed myself. And I feel better. My body feels better. My skin looks differently. So then that becomes your tradition. And then the cycle goes all over again. So then now you have this tradition again. And so you take something else. And you think, okay, I'm going to change this. I'm not going to watch TV every night. I'm going to read a book instead. And you work towards that. So you're in that transition. Sometimes it may take a week. Sometimes it may take a month. It depends on what it is. But you have to stick and hold fast to what the tradition is transition, excuse me, y'all, because I'll tell you all this ain't my language. You have to stick with the transition that you are willing to make this change for. And so, again, once you've done that, oh, wow, you know what I'm saying? I used to watch this show all the time. Now I don't do that. I read books at night. Then you made a transformation and you be proud of yourself and you celebrate. And it's an ongoing cycle. So just think about that. Tradition, transition, and transformation. So this is where we're going to start at. Tradition, transition, and transformation. Working on those steps of taking one or two things at a time. Don't overload yourself because you don't want to give yourself expectations that you're not willing to meet. So you want to maybe set short goals along the way. And like I said, be proud of yourself. And when you get to that transformation stage, wow, celebrate yourself and be proud. And then go on to the next one. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there because I just want you to take those things in because it is a process. Like I said, it's a process. We're not going to be able to go and just change completely because there's so many things in our lives that we need to change. Maybe we need to change our environment. Maybe we need to change our eating habits. Maybe we need to give up some certain foods that doesn't do well for us. We know that certain things is not good for us as black people. It's just the truth. We know that certain ways that we dress sometimes may not be attractive on us. I mean, so whatever it is, we know that maybe if I really want that particular job, I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to do that. And go to certain places, rub the elbows with the people that are doing that thing. And don't be afraid to ask for help. And do know there's a lot of help out there. But you have to be willing to do the work to make that change. So today we worked on tradition, transition, and transformation. So I'm proud of you guys. I know you can do it. I love you. I love my people. I love me, and I all my love just goes out with whoever crosses my path. So work on your tradition. Realize what your tradition is. Find out what it is in your tradition that you really want to change, and then go through the transition stage. take the steps that's needed to do a transition, to change from this thing that used to be your tradition that no longer serves you. And then celebrate yourself because you've made that transformation. All right? So, come on, y'all. Let's go get it. Let's go get it. All right. Love you, love you, love you. Again, I'll share my view of the beautiful water with you. Go outside. Get some sunshine. Walk in the park. And when you're in the park, take your shoes off. Let your feet just touch that nature. So, again, I'm going to stop because, I could just go on and on. But I love you. So, remember to please like our videos. Please share, subscribe, and comment. Talk to me. Talk black to me, y'all. All right? I love you. Peace and love.